How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Bitcoin update on the channel. And if you've been tuning into these videos ever since the end of January, I actually flipped bearish and made everyone aware I will continue to be bearish all the way back down over here when we first saw this initial dump down into 97k. Immediately, I placed my fibs on this completed, at least local bottom that we were given, and it told me that ultimately 106 to 108 needs to break, and only then I'm going to flip bullish because actually the reverse wave and the targets much higher up are not valid whatsoever under that level. And of course it dipped down lower after literally pumping into that level exactly, and you can see the failure into recovering that level by staying beneath it. You're not seeing those bullish targets, so it's not bullish, it's only one other option, bearish. And so ever since then, I've been telling everyone, especially in my Discord community and in the YouTube, of all what to expect from this. So the market is bearish, just expecting any pump to be a failed pump and then eventually roll over to continue lower. Every single day has just proved that point ever since then. And we've seen multiple areas where the market was setting up bullish. For example, when we got down into this key level of support, there was a falling wedge setting up here for literally 3 weeks down in this area, waiting to go up. The whole market was printing this pattern and it chose to go lower. So as we went to new lows, we'd say the 200 EMA is meant to be the bottom, but we can see we went slightly lower. I then placed a fib on this completed movement back up into this previous support now as resistance, suggesting that if we ever lose this final green layer of support, we could be seeing these targets down over here. I know, crazy, when we were up at 100k only a couple months ago, but there was a bounce from 81.6k. You can see right there on the 4th of March, beginning of this month, there was another bounce, but we can see ultimately what that ended up doing, another lower high. And I was actually saying that while holding the 200 EMA here, this has to be the time Bitcoin recovers all the moving averages, 94.4, and my key level 96.7. If I see these levels recovered, then it will start a move back up into that key area. And that's still the final resistance, so technically still bearish and expecting new lower lows, even if price pumped up into there. That's exactly the same explanation as over here with this completed move. It gave us that key level, it failed to break through, so you're not going up, there's only one other direction, down. So if we know the chart has to break certain levels in order to do something and it's not doing that, then why having that expectation that it will do it? So it just keeps proving what I've been saying, my warnings, which is all the pumps are just going to be lower than the last. We see this consistently, okay? The highs are all lower than the last. So the only way we're going to see this structural trend characteristic changes, once again, nothing I'm saying is different day by day. No matter how much worse it gets, I will just keep repeating the same thing. The market is only going to flip bullish above the 886. So you measure your biggest dump. That's the current one that we're in. This could, of course, go to new lower lows, and then I'd have to adjust all these levels in the following updates. But as of now, this continues to be support. And from here, just like last time, just like the last couple of times, the bounce has to break the high. And if it fails like the previous time, well, this is what ends up happening. So this bounce, now this is not my, what I'm about to say is not what I personally want or believe in. I'm just telling you, how does it get out of this situation? So what are my thoughts personally anyways? As I've been saying since all the way back up over here, I'm bearish, expecting lower and lower and lower. The chart is worse than up there, so it's not less bearish now, it's even more bearish as day by day keeps proving that with the failed reclaims. And so I'm not seeing any characteristic changes to believe this should be bullish. But please understand, I'm going to give you the framework right now of how this turns bullish. I'm not bullish, but I'm going to give you the framework. Why am I talking like this? Because no matter how many videos I make, there's always people saying, oh, you just say both ways, you don't have a bias, you know, you're just preparing for both ways. But isn't that what you're meant to do anyway? So you're not caught off guard. But I tell you my bias. Since up here, I have been bearish, expecting lower and lower and lower. Each day that passes, each time that we lose a certain support, I'm saying it's now worse position than before. And before it was better position, had more bullish factors, and it still chose to go low. Now it's even worse position. You're putting even more pressure on it to do well. So why do you have even more faith in it when it's proving to do the complete opposite? And I'm not talking about just Bitcoin. Bitcoin decides the altcoin's fate. I am talking mainly about altcoins. There's no point in having faith in them, in my personal opinion, until Bitcoin recovers that key level. So how does it go ahead and do so? I'm not saying it's going to do this move. I'm just going to show you how the altcoins get out of this mess. My belief is that while under all these levels, market will continue lower. That this is still just considered a dip for Bitcoin. But if altcoins, some of them have been going down since March last year, that's 12 months. So that's a bear market for alts. But not all alts. Some of them have only been going down since December. Some of them were going up until November, December, and then only started going down. So very weird market. But for me personally, I just care about what the Bitcoin chart is doing. And I know that the whole market is not technically bullish unless Bitcoin is recovering that 886 fib. Only then will me personally take interest in alts again. Because the move back up, if it's not recovering this level, can just be a false move back up. Similarly to like what you're seeing over here with this bounce. So how does it get out of this situation? How does it stop from continuing to new lows, which is my expectation while under all these key red boxes? So need to recover all the red boxes. First of all, starting off with all the moving averages. And that highest one is up at 92.8k. This is not good enough. I've been suggesting, if we dissect these moves a little bit more, we've got another completed move down over here and followed by the pump back up into that key 886.786. So actually it's meant to go to new lows already from here. It's been given that opportunity to recover that level. It just stayed in its natural trend, printing that lower high. So maintaining the downtrend, you're now lower than there, just ultimately still holding this. And while above this green box, we can see a bullish reaction already today. So what does that need to do? It needs to recover 85.7, needs to recover 92.8, needs to recover 96.7. And from the recovery of 96.7, there is that move we can trade right there. I'm not going to be trading this move up with altcoins, but this is a potential trade we could do with altcoins right over here. And then this is the resistance, so should get rejected. But if we do see it recovering, turning into support, that is where you can long any altcoin whatsoever. But me personally will not even be taking a move up into there, because just as you saw last time over here, it was all false and rolled over back down to where it was and slightly lower, in fact. Guys, I'll end this video by looking at the weekly close and the 5 daily close, and we can see that we're getting some bearish crosses, another one about to form. So even if we get a pump back up this week, if it's failing to recover even the first red box, which is actually where we can see all the moving averages, that must be recovered this week. Failing to do so would just mean that this was a move up into there to continue lower. So what we've already seen the past couple of weeks in this area, we get this move back up into there, back down, back up. That could happen once again for the weekly time frame. As you can see, we're at a level of support. It's just floating, but with this wick, there's been a higher low that's created above this low, and this is giving us a potential pivot point to travel higher. We've seen the reaction from this pivot point over the past couple of weeks, and so this is essentially its final bounce location. And if it fails, which I expect it to, it's going to continue rolling over. I'm going to be here to update it if anything changes. But my belief, as we are worse positioned than earlier on back over here and over here, that any bounce is false. It's just going to lower high and roll over. Guys, I've been saying this for 2 months or longer now, and it's just all come true day by day. Regardless of the people in the comments hating, saying I don't know what I'm talking about, it's just all come true, hasn't it? And especially if you've been tuning into my altcoin updates, I've been right on all of them. That's it from me today. If you want to get educated, if you want to learn how to do this on your own, if you want to learn about Bitcoin and crypto in general, message me. Whether it's on Twitter, you can see it in the bottom left corner, or all the other options. The Discord community, I post live streams in there. Every week, I'm posting constant content in there, way beyond what you see on YouTube and Twitter. My actual thoughts on the market. Use the links down below to get educated, and I'll catch you in there. Cheers.